Now that we've showed you how to use the UI to generate defects, you may want to go and extend some of these features to your own use case. To do that, let's dig into the backend code and walk you through some of the things you can change and modify. To access the source code, go to Window, Extensions, Defect Generation Sample, and select the VS Code icon. If you don't see the icon, you'll need to install VS Code. When VS Code opens, navigate through the folders to find the Python files by opening Extension and then go down to Omni/example/defects. You'll see a list of Python files in the menu. Looking back at defects sample extension UI in Omniverse, let's start by adding a new camera under the object parameters, and then allow the randomizer to change the X, Y, and Z location of the camera. To do this, we will need to add a camera as a prim, or a primitive, using Python code under object parameters. Then we will change the parameters under the defect parameters section. Let's navigate back to VS Code. The main Python file where everything is being executed is called replicator_defect.py. We will also modify rep_widgets.py in order to change the input form settings. Let's start in the rep_widgets.py file and add the camera prim. Locate the object parameters class and enter the command shown in order to add the camera prim. Save the file and look back at the UI in Omniverse. You'll see that the UI has been updated and allows us to select our camera in the same way we select our target prim. This is an important parameter because there can be more than one camera in any given scene. Now let's add the ability to randomize the location. Still working in rep_widgets.py, locate the defects parameters class. You'll see where the various properties are defined, which allow us to change the dimensions of the scratch. Following as shown here, a new line is added to add a new min-max widget that changes the Z position of the camera. Save the file and check back on the UI in Omniverse to see the update. You can now change the min and max of the camera's Z position. Working back in VS Code, let's start working in replicator_defect.py. Locate the method create_randomizers. This section basically allows us to tell Replicator the textures to pick for the defects on our target object. Inside of this method, create a new method called move_camera, and following as shown here, add the parameters necessary for the camera. Use the modify pose as a uniform distribution. And let's copy the current position of the camera to use as reference. Keep the X and Y values as is. And in the place of the Z value, we'll bring in the defect parameters that we defined in our rep_widget.py. Then let's define the min and max value. Don't forget to register this new move camera randomizer and add it in the method create defect layer. Make sure to save your file to see your changes in your UI. Now we can trigger this randomizer to be used when generating our data.